So here's just the finished version, a top view of the stylus, and the reference photograph may be a little off, so trying to set a circle in there with a little bit of guidelines to find the center point. Therefore I can make any circle from that up with the option in the shift key. And remember, whatever you draw first, I've taken the fill out so I just see the stroke, and I'm trying to draw from the bottom up just to make it a little bit easier to create some of the shapes, taking them, in this case flipping it and copying it, and then just using a simple gradient fill. And it's a good idea to use the eyedropper and just connect them all or select them all depending how you want to do it. And then move the copy over so you can see what you're looking at the reference. And then I can take the gradient editor, either use a linear gradient or radial depending on which one's going to be first, and just once you get it thrown in there, then you can modify it and take a look. Is it better like this, left, right, gradient is linear or radial, and then you can use some of those pieces in the modification of it. And the gradient editor again lets you, once you get using it, you'll get comfortable with it. But it's just a matter of clicking on it, placing the things in there, adjusting the tones, seeing the limits of the software, and then trying to push it to see what you can do with it as far as changing some of it. So once I get most of it, I just move it over because I'm going to keep one with the lines and take all the lines strokes out. These pieces I could readjust some of the parts, put a stroke on the inside. And again, you have the option of making the gradient go with the stroke, across it, and the outside lines I'm giving a little dark line with a profile so it goes from thin to thick just to give it a variation to it. Same with the outer edge, give it a thin and thick line. Down here with this tape piece, so you can put numbers on top of that. You can select them and warp it and use the warp tool to help you with some of the curves. You can obviously do it yourself by hand, but just to show you some of the different pieces here and adjusting it there. So it's sometimes nicer just to click in the menu to change the scale rather than on screen, because you can be more accurate and just watch what you're doing rather than trying to manipulate the mouse. So it gets a little bit easier. Here I just put a drop shadow, but it's not working, so I'll fix it on the end piece. But here's the outer one I'll put a drop shadow on. And when I look at it at a distance, I can see the gradient could be a little darker. And I might change some of those circular pieces just to edit that. And put a drop shadow in the appearance under effects. And you can change the opacity, location, mode, everything that goes along with it. So you have somewhat of a convincing looking stylus.